You might not think of Malcolm McLaren's Madame Butterfly as a Boston rock song, but it is. The song was conceived and recorded right here in our own backyard. Native New Englander Stephen Hague explains how Charisma Records got him together with McLaren to make one of the landmark new music songs of the decade.
Charisma basically kind of blackmailed him and said that if you don't work with this guy Steve Hague, who's really cheap and he's pretty good, then we're not going to let you finish this record, because he'd spent a fortune on it and it wasn't getting anywhere. So he came to Boston, and Walter Turbot and I, who is another local boy, we worked at Synchro, and we called up and got Malcolm's tapes sent around, and 70 boxes of 2-inch tape arrived. And we sorted through it for a couple weeks and listened to stuff, and we worked on a few things. And then he had this opera idea, of wedding the styles, the emotionalism of opera with, the more gut reaction hip-hop that was going on at the time. And we puttered around until we came up with a premise for Madame Butterfly, and then, we finished that. Once we get the basic idea, we finished that in about 8 or 10 days, I think, and did a remix of it over in England. And that was an influential record for me here because that led to a lot of acts kind of coming around because it was a very popular record over here. Nothing ever happened with it in the States, but for some reason it was this real kind of mystical consumer object here. It sold really well, and it still sells well. It's amazing. You still hear it on the radio. And that led to OMD and Pet Shop Boys. A lot of the pre-production and preliminary recording of choral singers and the opera singers for the Fans album was done at Synchro, and also in a church out in Newton, which I've forgotten the name of now. Beautiful little place, and we recorded some singers there and a choir. We had a mobile truck, and just trying to get some kind of ambience. We were feeling very arty at the time.
I'm Ty for WFNX. Native New Englander Stephen Hague is one of the best and most successful record producers working today. But he also writes and performs. In fact, he co-produced and co-wrote and played on New Order's biggest hit, True Faith, and its flip side, 1963.
My manager actually had quite a lot to do with putting that together. She's a big fan of New Order, and there was some talk that they were looking for someone new to work with. They wanted to do 2 new tracks to include in their what amounts to their greatest hits package, which their angle on that package was that it be 12 inches. And they're very much a democracy, New Order. And apparently the vote was 3-1 that that I should be contacted. And so we met, and there was nothing intimidating about them personally. They're really very normal people. And so we all went into the studio, and they didn't have really anything. So we just started writing because we had to. We had 10 days to do these 2 things. But we just started writing, and we took about 2 days to write the music for the 2 tracks, about a day each. And we made a couple changes on the 3rd day. The way they usually work is they get into a room together, and they'll just hook everything up and play until someone stumbles onto something that sounds like it could lead somewhere. Then they develop a song out of it, and when it's really kind of complete and all arranged, then Barney will come up with a melody for it and write the lyrics, which to me is a really ass-backwards way to do it. And so I impressed upon him that I thought the record would come out better if we knew what he was going to be singing before we finished recording the music. And he came in with one version of the lyrics to True Faith, which really had, in my mind, a little bit too much to do with drugs, and so we changed the lyrics a bit. And he sang it really good, and we tuned up the vocal just a bit, and did a mix on it, and that was about that. And when we finished, we didn't really know which one was going to be the single. Personally, I was going for 1963, and then the record company came down on the side of True Faith, and I thought that was fun. I liked both of them. I didn't really know quite what to make of it because it all happened so fast. We met, and then we went in with nothing, and we came out with these 2 records, and none of us really knew exactly how we felt about them, except they sounded pretty good, but it wasn't quite New Order, and it wasn't quite me, and it was a real hybrid.
More next time with producer, writer, and musician Stephen Hague. I'm Ty for WFNX.